Hello, good morning, and welcome to the Good Morning Education Show. My name is Rotimi Aitai, and I'm excited to be here today. Today is another day. This is Tuesday, to be precise, and it's going to be a great time together with you. We're going to always take you through different conversations around the world of education, and of course, talk about topical issues that bother the professional, the stakeholders within and around the sector. Today is not going to be different. We are streaming from Lagos, Nigeria, to West Africa, and of course to Africa and the entire world. If you are connecting with us, please do let us know where you're connecting from. Share with us your stories, connect with us, talk to us, and of course, ask questions if you must. We will treat your questions. We always have on this show people we call analysts, experts from different experts from different aspects, and they're going to share their views. They're going to talk about what they think about this conversation of the day, and it's always going to be a great time together with them. And of course, please do not forget, first timers especially, let us know this is your first time as you connected with us. Tell us your location. And as you tell us your location, we'll be glad, to recognize you. We will be joined by analysts shortly. Already we have um, um, one of our guests in the studio. And today is going to be a special day. We're having some friends of the sector, and they will be coming up to tell us the fantastic thing they've been doing and things you should be looking out for. They will be talking about some of the programs, but I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag just yet. I'm just going to come on to the show, introducing what we have to do. Today, we'll be speaking on developing the sector. And just after the news and evaluation of the news, very quickly, we're going to have the review of the news, and then we'll have our guest, and then we'll get to the conversation of the day without wasting much time. I'm already joined by the one and only smiling lady all the way from Kaduna, Nigeria. We have Grace Amoka. Grace, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. And thank you for joining us. I'm doing very well. Thank you. How are you doing?
Fantastic. I'm very well, thank you. Your smiling teeth, smiling face and shining teeth, they are enough motivation. If you, even though I can't see your face, but let's go on to the news very quickly. We're going to have the news, and then we're going to come back and talk about things as we begin the show. If you're just joining us, welcome to the Good Morning Education Show, and thank you. We will be right back. Do not go away. We're having the news right about now. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Um, Welcome back to the show. Grace, Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Why are you smiling? I spy with my little eyes that you're smiling sheepishly behind that.
That's what I do for a living.
Okay. We have Dr. Okeinfo Ajayi, also known as KK, also known as KK Republic, also known as the One Woman Republic. KK, good morning. Welcome to the
Which
show.
doctor? Is it another doctor? Is it me or somebody else? Doctor, without me, check well.
How can you be making people over and I can't make you over? Come off it.
Okay, doctor.
Yeah.
Hi, good morning, Mr. Rotimi.
The doctor.
Hi, Grace.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Fantastic, fantastic. Did any aspect
I like
of
your
the
glasses, Mr. Rotimi.
It's always been there. You just not been noticing, my dear.
Is it?
KK, I'm coming to work with you today. I'm coming to work with you.
Today that OEQ is coming to see me. Please don't come and work with me today. Let's change.
They will fear when they see me now. When they just see me, I say, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our school. The first shake, no? Say who them be, where them be.
Okay.
All right. We're going to be having guests today. Guests from
nice.
BAF. Yes, Bumi Adedayo Foundation, and
great.
They're going to be sharing with us their well, I believe they're going to be sharing with us their whole program, as it were, in terms of the things they've been doing and the things that they're going to do. And I know that they have a conference coming up already.
Oh, exciting!
Yes, so we won't waste much time to get them on board to just share, and I'm sure from there we will definitely take it over from there. So let's welcome one of the people. Good morning, Mr. John. Hello, Mr. John. Good morning.
Good morning, John.
Good morning, Mr. Itayo. Good morning, Mr. Laika. Nice to be on the show with you.
All right, fantastic. Mr. John, are you performing surgery this year? No mask is.
Oh, actually, I'm in the office.
No problem.
That's my attention.
And, yeah, no problem. And we have, I think, Sarah as well. Good morning, Sarah. How are you today?
Hi, Sarah.
Sarah, can you hear us? Okay, so while we wait for the audio, I think it's just to prepare people's minds as to what we're expecting from our guests. Okay, so while we're waiting for them, KK, I've been following you back to back, and I saw the last flyer on the teacher makeover, and I think I like the way you say you can squeeze some people in last minute, squeeze them in, So if you are there, this is Rotimi Itayo endorsing unequivocally the teacher makeover.
Thank you.
If you think you should be part of this, if you think you shouldn't be part of it, and if you're thinking you should be part of it, get to be a part of it. Okay, so please make yourself over, All right. So I don't know if Sarah and John, they're back.
But I didn't meet Gloria. Gloria, you didn't introduce yourself. I know I came in a little later.
Yes.
Sorry, Grace.
Grace. Oh, you've not met Grace. Okay, the other day, Grace was online.
No.
The network was bad. Yes, Grace has been frequenting the show now. She's an adopted child,
Oh, the best sort.
Yes. And she's like you. She dances like you. I don't know whether you have been mentoring people.
Guys, put on your video. Let's put some moves on this show.
Good morning. Good morning, KK.
Dancing
educator. Hi, Grace.
It's so great to meet you. Yes, we meet you.
I've told
I'm
Grace
excited already.
Anywhere I go, she's going there. Anywhere I go, Grace is
Oh,
going there.
fantastic. Fantastic.
So,
What does Grace do? Grace, what do you
Grace,
do?
when we
I'm
finish with our guest, we'll now come back to
Okay.
what does
Okay,
Grace.
Grace, no
Grace
problem.
is a
All right, so
portfolio.
I
She's
can
a
see John
portfolio.
is back.
Yes, yes, I'm here. I just turned on the video. So we are waiting
Oh,
for Mr. Martins to join us. He's also supposed to be
okay.
on this
So,
conversation.
Mr. John, I'm sure you might be wondering, we are not on serious people. We just have fun on the show, okay?
No, of course, it's
So,
always very good to have fun. Yeah, it's
so
fun.
it's never a dull moment. In fact, we have a signature statement. It's always a great morning on the Good Morning Education Show. So if anybody's
Wow.
having a bad day, all you need is the tonic,
Just
the capsule, the dose from 8 to 9. You are done. You are sorted. We pump
yes,
you up,
yes.
that kind of thing. And of course, we are Finn all the way from the city of Ibadan. Finn,
Wow.
how are you?
Good morning. I'm fine, thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Fantastic, fantastic. So let's not waste much time. And we have special guest, and one of our guests is Mr. John. John, how do you pronounce your surname? Is it Klutsi?
It's pronounced Kluse.
Klutse?
Kluse.
Okay, I
Yes.
almost got it.
Yeah, you always got it.
Yes,
Actually,
okay.
yeah, it's a
So
Badagry name. So I always have people telling me, how do you pronounce your name?
fantastic. So let's start with you. I know about your foundation and pretty much the fantastic what you guys have been doing. You just want to give us an introduction while we wait for your colleagues. You want to give us an introduction about you guys, what you guys do, what you've been doing.
Okay, yeah. So once again, good morning, and it's a privilege to be on this show with the rest of you. My name is John, and I am the grant and partnership lead of the foundation. And so Bumi Adedayo Foundation is actually where I work, and it's the reason why we are on this show this morning. So we are a non-profit organization that is that works in the primary education space. And majorly our work is to improve the learning outcomes of primary education in Nigeria. So it was established in 2016 in honor of Olubumi Omotayo Adedayo, the only child of our board of trustee. So before he died, he loved indigent children, and he was passionate about ensuring that they learn big, even if they don't attend big schools. So from 2016, we've been working with the government, with private sectors to ensure that we improve learning outcome of primary education. Our core majorly is actually teacher development and school leadership capacity building. But at the beginning, we remodeled 2 schools, set up ICT center, limited libraries, and we have been training teachers on and on since then. So we have a huge impact on the sector, and we are here to talk. We are doing more. That is why we're on this show. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. And I see a familiar face, a very familiar face. He's smiling already.
Of course.
He's lucky that we're not seeing physically, because I would have been giving him some punches, as in some jabs. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mr. Femi Martins. Mr. Femi Martins, good morning. How are
Thank you. I'm well, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, the world.
Yes.
Sincere apologies for coming on late.
No problem, no problem.
And thank you for having us on your show, Mr. Itayo.
Fantastic. We're always excited to bring like minds and great minds on our show. And Titi, you can see Titi is bright and shining down there. Titi, give us your signature hello for me.
Hi, Titi. Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Good Morning Education Show. Awesome.
Fantastic. So we're speaking with our guests and friends today. Interestingly, our theme of the conversation on the show is developing the sector. And just listening to John's introduction, it shows that the Bumi Adedayo Foundation has been doing a lot towards developing the sector. So, Mr. Femi, do you want to share some thoughts and some light on that as well?
Okay, well, thank you again for this opportunity. Well, John has said quite a lot. He's a grants and partnership lead at the foundation, and his joy is to be on platforms like this to talk about the work of the foundation. Let me just speak to the relevance of this work, and at this time especially. We are in a troubled time, and no one knew that it would last this long. It's been over a year since the pandemic struck, and realities of where we were and where we currently are at now has dawned on us, and we're beginning to seek for alternate means of achieving our objectives as educators. And this is where the foundation comes in. Before now, we have committed to ensuring we promote quality education across board, especially in the primary subsector. We do this by impacting, investing in teachers so that every pupil that pass through them gets to access quality education. But in times like this, we're in peculiar times where no matter how good you are as a teacher, you need to have a student to express your skill. If somebody needs to be available to learn from you. So what do we do when teachers are locked down? We don't pray it comes again, but the truth is, in one way or the other, we're experiencing a lockdown at the moment. Students cannot freely come back to school. There's statistic around number of students that have failed to show up, even though the physical lockdown has been called off. In my own the school that my kid attends, there are people that have refused to resume back since January, and they decide to stay back home to learn from the comfort of their living rooms. The truth again is this is luxury to a lot of people. We have many more thousands, if not millions, of children out there who cannot access education. Something needs to be done about this. So we're not just promoting quality education. Now we're promoting access to education. And that's what Bumi Adedayo Foundation at this time, with the support of our funders, the Coca-Cola Foundation, is doing, bringing a skill training to teachers under a project called the Tech Relevant Teacher Project. So during the pandemic last year, we realized that a number of teachers wanted to teach, but they had no platforms to do so. They didn't have the required skill to be able to gather their thoughts together, put their content together, and then distribute to pupils on the other side. We had schools that were practically handicapped. We just finished a call for application, and we have about 480 schools apply. And by the time we started streamlining this application, we realized that a number of them did nothing during the lockdown. So for such people, we have come to say, you know what? Never again should children be cut off from access to education. Let us help teachers and school owners to ensure that they are better positioned to deliver learning virtually and even improve their in-class teaching skills. Let me stop here for now so that I can take the rest through questions and then shed more light later on. Thank you.
Fantastic, Mr. Femi Martin dishing it out back to back, great work you guys are having. And of course, on the show we have our guests, analysts that are always ready to ask questions. So whenever we bring people on board, they're eager. People like Titi Keke, they're always eager to dish out questions. So I'm going to start with Titi. Titi, do you have questions for the team from Bumi Adedayo Foundation? Questions for them?
Honestly, I don't think I have questions to say because I've actually had some interruption in the past with the foundation. I remember there was a few years back when they were trying to collect books at various locations, and they came to where I was working for it to be used as a point of deposit for people to come drop their books, so that they then give those books. And I think those are the initiatives that we need. More than ever, I'm an advocate saying that we need more of individuals, corporates, supporting sector rather than the usual weight on government. Because if we have more of that, then there's hope for the sector. And I think my latest advocacy is the fact that we need more of that being technology driven. We need to move away from brick and mortar. In a lot of the initiatives done by corporates to, the things that would have a longer impact in today's 21st century. So what I would say is it's commendable in terms of the fact that we have always said that the teachers are one of the key factors in pushing the sector in the direction that we want. So training them on technology, I just think it's an awesome initiative. So well done to the foundation.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Titi.
Thank you, Titi.
Do we have questions from Finn, from Grace, from KK? Okay, Finn doesn't have a question. How about Grace? Grace, do you have a question?
No, Finn was on mute. You know what she said.
Okay, so KK, do you have any question for them?
Well, yeah. So I mean, I heard what he was, Femi was talking about, but I didn't quite get what exactly the thrust of the conference was. He just talked generally about what it was they were going to do. I kept waiting for the penny to drop, but I didn't get that. So yeah, if that penny can drop, that'll be great.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I wanted someone to actually, pull that out, so we'll then come back with that fuller detail. Okay, so in 2020, last year, we got a grant from the Coca-Cola Foundation to train about 600 educators, 200 ed teachers, and 400 classroom teachers in the use of technology in creating academic content and how to distribute STEM. So in the course of a deeper work into this, we then realized that there was a deeper need for school owners to understand the role of technology in driving the sustainability of their schools. And then when we talk about sustainability, in simple terms, it is how can we ensure we continue to do good now and into the future, right? So we then came up with the idea of a school sustainability, a school leadership and sustainability conference, which from what we have found out is something like will be coming up annually. So it's not just this year alone that will be running it. And what is this for? It's for school leaders. The School Leadership and Sustainability Conference is for school leaders, especially in the primary school space, right? It's a gathering of school leaders where they come together and we get thought leaders in various subsectors in the education space to come talk to them about the in thing at the moment. For this year, we are looking at leveraging on technology to drive sustainability. So this year, we're bringing together speakers from various subsectors. We have people from tech. We have Chineye Mbazoko, who is coming to the current president of the Institute of Software Developers of Nigeria. He's coming to talk to school owners, delivering a keynote address actually on how to leverage on tech. We have Dr. Justina Adeosun, who currently runs a tech-based school in Lagos, who is coming to talk to participants on using a case in view of our own school to talk about how you can wire in tech, in an incremental way into your school system, talking of administration, learning and teaching and learning in the classroom, and stakeholder engagement with parents and what have you, assessment and what have you. So she's going to take us through how you can practically, again, a lot of people know about technology, but a lot more are yet to install, to make use of technology in the running of their school business. So we're going to bring experts together to talk about this. We have Mrs. Abiola Lamikora, the head of School of City of Knowledge Academy in Ijebu-Ode, who is coming to talk about the tech-driven leader. Again, talking about school leadership, if technology is not in you, you cannot give it out. So of course, you can't give what you do not have as a school leader. So we're going to have a session on the tech-driven school leaders, how you can leverage on tech, how you can include tech in planning your school long-term plans and what have you. again, we're going to have a panel session, right, where we'll bring different different stakeholders, those from the school leadership part, those from the teaching part, even parents, bring them together on a panel session to discuss the opportunities and threats in deploying technology in school. So it's a conference that is loaded. Again, it's a virtual conference bringing together 500 participants, majorly school leaders. Already we have over 300 people that have signed up for this conference, and we're just hoping that within the rest of the week we can get more people to sign up. It is a conference coming up this Saturday, that's 27th of February is when the conference is coming up, and it's going to run from 10 in the morning to 2 p.m. Again, it's a virtual conference. We're not going to take chances. And again, we cannot be preaching technology and then say that space is restraining us from gathering 500 people. In the tech space, there are no limits to the number of people that you can put together. And so we're going to use this opportunity to invite educators out there to come and take opportunity of this free conference. Again, it's a conference that is flagging off a series of training programs. But first, let us settle the leaders. When they understand the vision, they understand the basis, it is easier for them to push and motivate their own teachers, to go further and deeper into the use of technology. So that's the bit about the conference. And of course, after the conference, we have about 3 months of 2 months of training, actually, where we go to a massive 1 month training for the core beneficiaries of the Tech Relevant Teacher Project. But this conference is open to everybody, any educator anywhere in the world that is intending or that is in need of such knowledge. All right, I hope I've been able to shed more light on the conference.
Yes, you have. Thank you so much, Femi.
Absolutely.
So, can I ask this for when you say primary school? So, is it for public primary schools or is it for private primary schools?
Okay, that question increasingly is becoming difficult to answer. So I can say yes, it's for primary schools. Now, is it for public? Is it for private? For this particular conference, we're actually tilting more towards the low-cost private schools, the low fee paying, the middle fee paying private schools. And for sake of emphasis, who are the low cost or middle cost schools? Those that are paying less 100,000 naira and below per annum as school fee. We have people that pay 9,000, 5,000, 10,000 per annum, right? So we're looking at how we can help this crop of people. However, again, technology does not know whether you are rich or poor. So the knowledge that will be acquired can be applied across board, even up to the high-tech, high-fee paying schools.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you, Femi, but you know how the main reason why I asked this question is that when it comes to technology, especially technology in the Nigerian space, not Nigerians, actually an Africa-wide problem. There are usually 3 factors that just make it very hard. There's the factor of electricity, there's the factor of availability of devices, and then there's the last one of affordability of internet. Such that when you look at the average low-cost school, they don't have any of these things. So most of the local schools I've been to, I'm not talking about public schools. They typically don't run on generator because they're trying to manage costs. Most of them I've not seen them with an IT lab, so they don't have these devices. Even apart from the head teacher, even the average teacher, they don't have smart devices. And then if you now tell them to come and afford internet, a whole different thing. So when we look at the sector, as someone that is trying to drive education technology in the sector, one is always bombarded by these 3 factors. So I think it would be interesting for you to say is, and how the training would help kind of in the midst of these challenges. I think that's the word I'm looking for. So because one thing to be armed with the knowledge, it's another thing to be planted in an environment where, having been armed with the knowledge, you can then actually do anything about it.
Okay. All right. Thank you. It's a good and a real perspective that you've brought on the show. So we understand the key challenges. So I'd like to divide the challenges into three. One is the challenge of the how, the knowing the how to go about bringing tech into your work as an educator. Then the other bit is you being able to develop content, right? For content development itself, you do not need so much, right? And then after developing the content, the third aspect is the distribution of the content that you have created, which is where issues like availability of devices, electricity, and what have you comes in. So we are tackling the problem from different angles. One is from the angle of let the teachers even know that the certain technologies exist that can help them to express themselves as teachers, okay? And secondly, let us show them how to use these technologies to produce the required content, engaging content that will truly be impactful, right? And then the leg is another phase entirely, which has to do with the distribution. Now, we have gone around schools in Lagos State, and like I told you, we have currently shortlisted 216 schools in Lagos State. We are aware of the challenges, but we're also aware of the fact that the journey of a 1,000 years begins with a step. So first and foremost, let's start from the angle of even getting the teachers, right, to be able to produce relevant content. A lot of these schools did something during COVID. They did WhatsApp learning. And like Mr. Chineye Mbazoku always say, that internet is not everything. So I could, as a teacher, create content in the comfort of my living room, right? Now the content is available. How do I distribute the content? I could decide to set up a WhatsApp group and bring parents together, drop all these things there. Some of them access the internet only when they do a 200 naira recharge, or perhaps they can get that to their phones. And then one phone in a family will play a lot of, will go a long way in granting access. Again, this is an opportunity to call on well-meaning individuals and corporate organizations out there. They could decide to adopt a school in their vicinity and assist with, even if it is a computer device in a school or two, right? Even if it is a projector, right? Even if it's to provide the financing in institutions. I know of a microfinance bank that's dedicated to education, right? They could find a way to support parents and users of these things to come up and provide a financing plan for devices to be acquired. So again, distribution is maybe the later part of this. We want to look at how, what we are currently tackling is how we can even create the content. Then after that, we look at how to tackle the issue of distribution. Again, BAF, Bumia Dare Foundation, will not do everything, but we will play our own part. And maybe I should ask John to say a bit about the learning management system that we're working on to provide some of these schools in order to sustain this.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Rotimi, we can hear you, but we're waiting for Femi to just finish. We can hear you, but Femi, go ahead and just round up.
Okay. I think I've lost my audio.
Okay. Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, Rotimi, we can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah. Mr. Martins, can you hear you?
Okay. Okay. So let me just take this question back to John. Do you want to share a little bit about the reality? I know you're working within the grant unit or grant framework. How has been the support on education development initiatives and projects? What do you think, and what would you like to say to people out there who will be watching now or watching the replay? How do we try to get a lot more people, coming in to support education, especially now?
Okay, well, thank you once again for that question, to me. So, working in the grant sector for quite a number of years, if you look at the statistics before COVID-19, honestly, globally, investment in the education sector seems to be very, very low. See more of investment in environment, see more investment in technology, see more of investment in climate and the rest of them. But after COVID-19, the world began to see that if we don't invest in education, there will be a huge gap as it has been exposed through this COVID-19. So there are grant opportunities out there. There are corporate organizations that are willing to support civil initiatives as what we do at the foundation. Although in Nigeria, I would say that we are not really, most of the organizations still look at them and they are focusing on entrepreneurship, they are focusing on professional skills development, they are focusing on aspects. So I believe that if more, this is that you cannot overinvest in education. So if you look at our budgets from the government sector, look at only few organizations are investing in education. So there's still a huge gap in investment in education. So I believe that even though this has improved a bit due to the exposure or the lapses that COVID-19 revealed, there's still a huge need for investment. So we really want to call on corporate, we want to call on private sectors to invest in education. Mr. Martins did say something, or perhaps something that in this project we'll be empowering schools with a content production suite. We'll be giving them a computer devices, software installations, the earpod and the microphone, access to internet for some months. So if we are empowering about 260 schools with the soft skills and how to produce content, and then we only able to help 30 schools, what happens to the remaining over 190 schools that will not give these devices? So if we can get partners on board, people to come on board, we want more. Especially about 2 weeks ago, I visited 6 schools, interviewed close to about 20 teachers, and I realized that there is a willingness to invest, to go tech with their processes, but they need support. Organizations earlier today talked about power supply being an issue. You don't really need to run generator in generation. There are solar panels that will be given to schools to suffice too. It's becoming the report of the time generator and the rest of them. So that's the help. Yeah, we just invest, we'll give a school an inverter, and we solve that need. So I think that there is still a need, summary, for more investment in education space, both in the public sector and the private sector. Thank you.
All right. So let me ask Mr. Femi as we are about to. Let's just ask the last question, more or less. So, this conference coming up this weekend, I believe, right? And then going forward, what's the future? What do you guys have planned in stock for 2021? 2021 is still just 2 months down, and there are still many months ahead. So what's the journey ahead like? Could you just tell us ahead of the call?
Okay, thank you once again. Before I answer the question, let me quickly use this opportunity to tell people how to register for the conference, because I've received a private comment saying that I have not told them how to register for the conference. So to register for the conference, simply log on to our website, bumiadedayofoundation.org. Then do a /conference. It takes you directly to the page, or just go to the website bumiadedayofoundation.org, right? And then you'll see a link to take you to the conference page, or you just type it in your browser directly, bumiadedayofoundation.org/conference. Okay, so you can go there straight to register for this conference. Registration will be on up until Friday, 26th of this month. But please make sure you are a school leader. Okay, so one of the key outcomes of this conference that we're looking at is to ensure that more schools decide to embark on the journey of bringing on technology, of wiring tech into their system. We don't know what will happen tomorrow. We have seen the pandemic now. We don't know what next will happen that will prevent us once again from going out. Aside that, there is a lot of opportunity. There are lots of opportunities in blended learning approach to teaching. So we should please begin to look in this direction. So one of the key things that this will do for the foundation in 2021 is that we are going to do a lot of training, driving training in tech for teachers, both physically and remotely. One of the other things that we see as immediate opportunity is the creation of a learning platform for pupils in primary 6. Again, the common entrance is just around the corner, and I see a lot of challenges in getting children prepared to take these exams and perform well. We have seen an immediate value from this TRTP training that we're running from now till May, in the sense that we are creating topics in 15 topics in maths, 15 topics in English. These are terminal topics that will bring soak-up to pupils preparing for the common entrance exam. It's going to be available on our platform for totally free of charge, and all a student needs, is to spend a few hours every day. Of course, if you have the access, and if you don't have the access, right, what you need also is to maybe look for someone that has it, download content and continue to learn. Aside this, we have another project. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on air now, but we have another project targeted still at school leadership for this year. We have a specialized training program that is also targeted at math teachers, because again, we've seen a lot of gap in teaching of mathematics to pupils, which has affected the decision of students, generally whether to like maths or dislike it. So we have a number of these programs outlined for the year 2021. One key lesson we learned from last year is never to be absolute, right, about anything. What we're absolute about is that we will continue to add value in the area of teaching and learning. We will continue to add value in the area of school leadership, and we will continue to promote quality education and access to same as an organization. This, we say, is our promise. This is what we are sure of, but the how and the when will come back later to you on that. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, and it's great having you, Mr. Femi Martins, and of course John Kutsek, right? great to have you guys. We wish you all the best in the conference and your project, and from the Good Mind Education Show, we will always be keeping tabs on the news and updates. Please feel free to send us news items so we can share with the world. and we believe that your project will receive best of embrace. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today. And Titi, could you say a great morning to them in our own usual way as our guests leave us today?
Well,
Okay.
I was saying that we hadn't had any from Grace. So we have Grace and we've not had, even if all Grace is saying is just a hello.
Hello, Titi. I've been here just listening.
So, do you have anything you want to say? You want to add? You want to contribute?
Okay,
All that
I would just like to. Okay, yeah, I would just like to say, well done to the Bumi Adedayo Foundation. I know for our sector, there's a lot of work to be done, and it just requires everybody's hand to be on deck. That's why we have shows like this. We have a lot of stakeholders that are doing different things in their various rights. I work mostly in a low income community, so I totally understand, not having access to this facilities, not even having the parents being able to afford these things. So I totally get what the reality for a lot of homes, are for, in Nigeria. But I just know that when we take one step after another and we keep doing what we need to, we keep, getting people to support this, kinds of visions, it will go a long way in giving us the education sector of our dreams. We have a long way to go, but I believe that we're making good progress. So very well done, and thank you for being on the show this morning. Have a very
Thank you.
fantastic day. Yeah.
Thank
All
you. Thank
right.
you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much,
Okay,
Grace. Thank you.
Thank you.
Grace.
Okay, so back to the show. Back to the show. So we're talking about developing the sector, and in the next few minutes, we just want, of course, Bumi Adedayo Foundation is practically doing something towards developing the sector, and I think it would just be nice for us to just top it up like the icing on the cake, right? Um, how do we really fast track this championing of developing the sector within the country, within Africa as well? How do we move away from a slow paced kind of development to an accelerated kind of development? Titi, I'm going to start, I'm going to feed, and I'm coming back to Grace.
Just listening to the Bumi Adedayo Foundation, one of the things that comes to mind is the fact that we need to collaborate more. And that was going to be my next question to them, to say, rather than us each person develop something, how do we know what each person already is doing in the sector? How do we collaborate so that whatever it is that we're doing, the sound of it, so to speak, is being magnified? So what I want and what I strongly believe that would help the sector is a lot of collaboration, so that what each the little drops that everyone is doing, when they pull it together, it makes a bigger splash. So for me, collaboration is key. And then I think it's also just to simplify. Can we just pick on three things and say these are the three things that we'll attack for the next few years? The three things that has the greatest impact. Technology is fine, but when we then talk about low cost school, the technology we then talk about will be the technology that helps, but it might not necessarily help the students directly, but helps them indirectly. Because if the teachers are then being trained through technology, if the teachers have access to better resources and lesson plans through technology, even if they're not bringing technology to the whole class and the whole school, technology is in a sense helping them. And so when I look at the sector, for me, the top three issues will continue to be: one, how do we empower teachers? So it's laudable. I like what BAF says they want to do in terms of training the teachers. I think that's key. I like things that various other NGOs are doing. Think people like Teach for Nigeria, a million teachers, various teacher initiatives, because I feel that that's what has the greatest impact. Was it yesterday or day before yesterday when we were talking about the teachers? They make an impact. When we try to remember the greatest impact in our education, it's always we remember it more from a teacher rather than resources. To be honest, we always remember the teacher that made an impact. So when I think of the sector, for me, that's really my number one. And as I say the teachers, I was like, let's collaborate more. Let each person not go building their own, but let's collaborate more in how we can impact more. Thank you.
Titi, you mentioned 3 things, but you shared 2.
Yeah, because there are other people now. I won't take everything.
Okay.
Let me see my 2.
I gotcha. So, Fee, let's hear from Fee.
Okay, so I would say that the Bumi Adedayo Foundation is one of the examples that we're seeing now practically in developing the sector. One thing that is very clear is that change is not something that is always gladly or easily welcome. It takes a process for people to move out of how they had always done things, from the blackboard, just write it on the blackboard, and then the students just write it out and learning by rote and all of that. But it's essential for us to see and for it to be modeled to schools that for us to take our place, to take a place in global development, and there's a need for us to develop in this sector. There's a need for us to move away from how it has always been. There's a need for us to catch up, I would say, catch up with development, not just for on the global basis, but also for us as a country, as a nation, and for the quality of citizens that we hope to have in the near future. I would also say that it's very important for us to place a lot of emphasis on teacher training. The teachers basically run the education system. So if we don't have teachers who are well advanced in, who know what it is they should be teaching their students, not that at this time, for instance, we're still teaching them things that have been left behind decades ago, and we just feel, well, because it's in the curriculum, because it's part of the scheme of work, we just have to teach it. When teachers realize that they really contribute to development, they contribute to the growth of the sector, and education leaders also realize that, look, we need these teachers to run this sector, to push the sector, to develop it, then more training and more focus on teacher training, more focus on the personal development of the teacher will help to move the sector forward also.
Thank you very much. So Grace, I want you to flip the coin, not just by telling us more about developing the sector, but I want you to also probably put in your own plans or your own actions at the moment towards developing the sector.
Okay, so immediately asked the question, the first thing that came to mind was that quote that if you want to go fast, you go alone, but if you want to go far, you go with other people. And then Titi just took the words right out of my mouth, by saying collaboration. And I think that's one very big thing we need to. I think we've been conditioned somewhat to just that hustling mindset. Everybody wants to be the boss. Everybody wants to be the one in the forefront, so we hardly want to support each other whose name is going to be on the billboard. And I think that because of the sector that we're working in, we need to disabuse that kind of mindset. We need to start to learn to just join hands together with the parents that we're working with our heads of schools. Our heads of schools need to let the teachers do their thing. So you can't be micromanaging these teachers. Teachers need to learn to, for me, the 2 biggest skills would be adaptability and then innovation. So beyond just training these teachers to do things, we're training them on the skills that they need to have to so COVID-19 happened last year. Only God knows what's going to happen, this year and in the years to come. So just having teachers that are leaders that can adapt to anything that comes their way, for me, is a major asset to what I'm doing. So yes, teachers are super important in developing our sector. The book I'm currently working on, talks a lot, focuses a lot about the power and purpose of teachers in redefining the narrative for the education sector. And that's, I believe that once we're able to just hold ground, like hold our fort, as teachers, to say, this is what we're supposed to be doing. This is what we can do, understanding our power and not just feeling like, oh, we're just ordinary teachers. I think that it will go a long way in, giving us the sector of our dreams. I believe so much in the potential that we carry as teachers. Heads of schools are doing great, but we are we're the fighters, we're the ones in the forefront doing the real business. So I want teachers to wake up and understand that we're the gems, we're the gems, and we need to start to see ourselves that way, because when we see ourselves that way, that's the same vibe and energy we're passing on to the children that we teach. They draw a lot from us than we think they do. So thank you very much, Mr. Rotimi, for this opportunity, and it's so good to see and interact with you, TT, and yes, thank you.
Thank you.
It is blushing. My Titi is blushing. Oh my God. Don't mind me, guys. All right, but we've had a great time today. And I know that a lot of people might be wondering, announcement. I would let some of the cat out of the bag. Just watch out. Something big is coming from Titi. Titi has been cooking some stuff. Me, I know. I have a private eye. I'm watching Titi. She's cooking some different things, and I'm sure from the month of March, you'll probably be hearing some things from the stables of Titi and the Niger Kids crew. So, ladies and gentlemen,
what do you have,
prophet? Okay, so that you know that I'm a prophet. I'm prophesying a lot before Thursday, 6 p.m. Mark it down. There is one heavy alert that is coming. And when it comes, you shall call me and tell me that it has arrived. And you shall have mercy on me that prophesied the alert. A fantastic thing also is cooking something. And so everybody's cooking something. And I'm excited because it's going to be an interesting year. So please ensure that you follow the news, watch the replay, like our channel, subscribe to our channel, share the videos, follow all our guests and analysts online. Fantastic stuff. I'm so excited about the Teacher Makeover by KK and also the Administrator Academy. That's the School Leaders Academy that she's having a coaching program on. Thank you, Marcelina, for joining. Thank you very well. Thank you very much. All right, so this is all that we can take for today. And we are really, really, really out of time. But then we are not out of time to tell you how we wish you to have a great day. So ladies, are you ready?
Yes, we are.
Over to you, girl.
Okay, so it's always a great
morning on the
Good Morning Education Show.
Fantastic. All right, take care. Bye.
Bye.